Okay, so welcome back everyone to this video. So now in this video we're going to be actually doing something with our database, alright? So first of all, I'm going to create a folder called model. So now whenever you're actually creating something or adding any entry to your database, you need to have something known as a schema for it or a model for it, alright? So I know I said that NoSQL databases do not follow any particular schema, and believe me, it doesn't. But here we have to actually tell something to the database, right? That this is what this is going to be, or something like that. Alright? So we have to create a schema for it. And it's very simple to create a schema. So first of all, we're going to be using Mongoose to create the schema because of course Mongoose is our driver for everything. So we're going to be requiring Mongoose, alright, and we're going to be creating the schema of a simple post, alright. So we're going to say const post equals to new mongoose dot schema, alright, and inside this we actually have to give a JSON to this mongoose dot schema. So I want my post to have a title, alright, and the title of the post has to be there. So required is true, alright, and type of the title will actually be a string. Now every post has a title and a description. You can change it or anything. You can create another schema if you want to. Well, I want to keep it title and description as for now. So I want every post to also have a description, and its type will also be a string. Now after I've done this, I'm going to write module.exports equals to mongoose.model posts comma post. Alright, so this is how we create a schema. Now we're going to be creating another folder called routes, where we will create all our routes to actually post something to the database. So let's create a file in it called post.js, and now first of all we are going to be using express routing as we discussed in the previous section. So we're going to be using express dot router. Now we're going to do a router dot post, which is basically writing something to the database, comma request and the response. And in here we are going to be also you also have to require something called the schema of the post. So we're going to be requiring post equals to require, and we're going to be giving the relative path of the schema we created, alright. And I'm going to do here const title equals to request dot body dot title, const description equals to request dot body dot description, alright. Now we're going to be writing, also by the way I forgot to do this, but we will make our function async, alright. Now we're going to be using const new post equals to new post, and we're going to be giving the title as the title variable we created and the description as the description, alright. So now we are going to be writing const save post equals to await new post dot save. Alright, so this dot save is actually a function which comes inbuilt with Mongoose. Alright, so we're going to say await new post dot save, and we're going to say ref.json save post. Alright, we're going to hit save, and we're going to do module dot exports equals router. We'll come to our index.js here, and in here we'll add some more middleware. We'll do an app.use posts, comma, require routes posts. Right, we'll hit save and make sure everything's alright. Title, description, a title and description here. You save the post, you hit save, make sure index.js is saved. We'll do an npm start here, server is running connected to database. We will fire up Postman so with that we can actually test our API, which we just currently made. So it says localhost 3000 here, and it will be localhost 3000 posts as I had put here, and this was just a route, so /posts, and I'm going to be putting a title in here. It says post number 1, and a description in here. It says this is my first post, something of that sort. You can put in anything in the title and description as long as it is a string. I'm going to be hitting send. It says cannot get post because it was a post route. So yeah, now so it throws an error saying res.son is not a function. We can come to a post, and of course we put it res.son here. It is actually going to be JSON here. So now here, and we hit it, and here it is ID. So now these are two fields that MongoDB creates on itself. The first one is ID, and the second one is this weird looking __v. Well, this __v is what tells how many times this thing has been changed or updated, and this _ID is what MongoDB generates for us. It is like this unique way in which you can differentiate your post. So now I'm going to go to Compass here, and I'm going to hit refresh. So here comes a database name called test here, and you can see posts here, and when you come here and you see this is my first post, and actually the entry has been done 2 times, because the first time we had done a res.son here, which was an error on my part, but the post was already saved before that, so the database actually took the entry, but the response was actually faulty, so we can delete a document here, whatever. Now we can say post number 2, this is my second post or something like that, and I can hit, and it says post number 2, this is my second post. Let's add a few more posts here. Third post, fourth post, and a fifth post. So now when we come back to our database and we hit refresh, you can see there are 5 entries in the database with the title and description, the ID and everything out here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be creating a route so that you can get all the posts from the database. So we're going to be doing a router.get comma async request comma response, and what we're going to be doing here is we're going to say const post equals to await post dot find, and we're going to be giving nothing in here. So whenever we give nothing to this post dot find right here, it will send back all the posts. So now we do res.json posts, alright, and I'm going to be putting this as get posts, and since just posting a post isn't a very logical route to put it in the root, we're just going to putting something like new post here. Alright, so now I'm going to do get posts as I had written here, and since this is a get request, I'll change it. Get requests don't have any body or anything like that, and first of all we're going to start our app doing npm start so that it's up and running. So it says connected to database, so that's cool, and this can't get it. Well, of course it can't get it because it has to be posts here. Now that's fine. So now you can see all posts are here. Actually the error was that I hadn't put this slash posts here as in my app, so it wasn't working, but we fixed it. So you can see all the entries we had actually created in the database, we can actually retrieve from it. So post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4 and post 5. So now I want to actually update the description of my post somehow. Maybe I want to change the description, and that edit button which is always there in there. So how do you do that? Well, to do that, what we're going to do is I'm going to write here router.patch. So obviously we're going to be editing something, so it's going to be a patch request. So we're going to say edit description request and response. Alright, so now you need to give the computer or the database something from which you can uniquely identify a post. Alright, so now we're going to be using the post ID to differentiate between these posts, because the post ID is the thing which is actually the most unique among all of these, and every post ID is going to be different, so we can rely on that. So in here it says edit description slash post ID. So whenever you put this colon before any variable in here, something like this, what it actually does is it creates dynamic routes for you. So if I do const ID equals to request dot params dot post ID. Alright, now I'm going to be teaching you about another function called post dot find by ID and update. Alright, so in the first parameter of the function you'll be giving the ID, and the second parameter you'll be actually telling what you're going to update. So you have to write it exactly in the way I'm writing. Description as whatever is the request dot body dot alright, and of course we're going to be sending a res.json update and we're going to be sending back the update in here. Alright, so hopefully I put everything correctly in here. So we're going to be coming here. So suppose I want to edit post number 1. Okay, so first I'm going to write here edit description. Let me make sure the spelling is correct, slash, and I will actually copy this right here and I'm going to paste it, edit description, and in the body I'm going to send it a description. Alright, this is, I'll say, I love this post or something of that sort. Alright, make sure our server is running. It says connected to database, and we're going to be hitting send. This cannot get because it's not a get request, it's a patch request. Well, you get back, this is my first post, whereas we had said I love this post. We can check in a database once, and database, it has been updated, I love this post, but we are still getting back this is my post from here, because this function post.findById and update, it actually sends me back the old data from here, which is the one which was there before. So instead of doing that, we can just give a response saying status updated. Alright, so now this is cool. We can actually create a post, we can get the posts, and we can also, change the description of the post. Basically we can make an update to the database. So now I'm going to show you how you can actually retrieve one entry from the database. Alright, so in this router get posts, it is actually giving you back all the posts. But what if you want to get back one post? So you can actually do a router.get /get post /post ID, comma, in here you can say const id equals to request dot params dot post id, and now what you can do is const post equals to await, and what we're going to be using here is post dot find one, or we'll be using this post dot find by id. Alright, so what find by id does is it actually filters the post through IDs, and we're going to do res.json post. We're going to be hitting save here. We're going to postman, and in here we're going to say get post, and the ID was already there. The request is not a patch request anymore, it is a get request. We'll do that. We'll fire up a server so that's running, and in here we're going to be hitting, and it gives back us post number 1. If we wanted to actually get back post number 2, we can copy this from here and we can paste this in here, so that we are giving the computer the ID of the particular post, and when we hit send, it actually gives me back this. Alright, post number 2. So this is how you can get back particular post. Now if you want to remove a particular post, so suppose you want to delete an entry from the database, what you can do is you can create a delete route. So you'll say router.delete post slash post id comma async request and response. Alright, so first of all we'll take the id here, request dot params dot post id. Alright, and we're going to be doing await post dot remove, and we're going to be removing the post with the id equals to id. Alright, and then we're going to say res.json status remove post. Alright, so we're going to hit save. We're going to start up a server. We're going to go to Postman. We're going to make a delete request, and here, so here as you can see, this ID is of the second post, and hopefully when I hit this, it says status remove post. Now when we come to our database and we refresh, well, you can see post number 2 is gone. So you can also delete posts using the Node.js app. So I guess we can stop the video here. I've told you how you can create your post, how you can get a post, how you can get all posts, how you can edit a post, and how you can delete a post. So you can create, read, update and delete from the database using your Node.js app. So guys, I think that is it for this section. In this section we learned about the basics of a database and how we can use MongoDB from a Node.js app to perform the CRUD operation, or creation, reading, updation and deletion. And what we actually have here is a REST API fully ready for us to interact with the database. Thank you for watching this section, and I'll see you in the next section.